And because it's not serving, we have that moment where we can be really stuck in the sadness and in the pain and then in the grieving of the loss in that in advanced. Or we can reframe it just like we do with people in life and everything else, where I'm actually so grateful that that sacrifice was made or that that is happening.
If I were to just focus on that, if I were to just look at all of the loss and, oh my God, it's so terrible, and look at everything that's happened to me, my energy would be completely different. And it was. Hey everybody, it's Bianca.
And this is Amelia.
And welcome to another episode of Evolve Ventures, where we are helping growth-minded humans evolve by breaking one limiting belief at a time. And honestly, it's a little bit of our specialty. It's a little bit of what we're known for.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
What song is that?
I made it up.
Oh, okay. It sounds like an actual song. I think that is an actual song.
Probably. The Evolve special.
We hope you enjoyed the last episode. 191 Motivation Monday. How bougie of a sleeper are you? We talked about all things sleep, all about how to get better sleep and why you want to be a bougie sleeper. It's the Evolve method. It's the Evolve way.
Mm-hmm. That it is.
That it is. For today, number 192. How to be okay letting go of people. Now, in the past, we've done episodes like this. They've been a little bit heavy. They've been a little bit on the more aggressive side. Today, we really want to dive into kind of the flip side of this. Not talking about, why you need to let people go and, what to do to let people go, but really how to be okay letting people go and how to really create a mental reframe about it. Amelia and I, before we got into this, we were really talking about this and talking about how there really is just such a negative energy and this negative relationship and association when talking about relationships and healthy relationships versus maybe some not so healthy relationships and what to do about it. And in the episode that we're going to dive into today, we really want to go into why this actually can be a really good thing. And the mental reframe that we're going to be talking about in this is what you're actually going to gain from making this choice and how this is actually going to be such a beautiful thing for you rather than the darkness and the heaviness and the pain component of learning to be okay with the pain of letting people go. Because that's there. That might be a part of it. And we've done episodes about that. But really, I think the component that's missing, and you and I have talked about this so often, is that more adaptive, positive side of what is my life going to look like now? Now that I did do this thing. Now that I can make this choice for me. Now that I'm going to be putting myself first. We did an episode about that. That's actually going to be my episode suggestion for today.
Ooh.
When you can put yourself first and all of the amazing changes that you get to see in your life as a result of that. As a result of being like, you know what? Hey, I'm here and I matter and I'm important enough to do the things that are right for me so that I can be the best that I can be, so that I can show up for the people in my life the best that I can, and so that they can all have really good lives.
Heck yeah. That's what it's all about, y'all. And I was telling Bianca a little bit before this episode, it's interesting because I always run into this every single day. So I'm a gardener and I've talked about my plants. I love my plants. I'm a plant mama. And
Plant mama.
This reframe B that you chatted about earlier is so vital, I believe. And it's so something that has been so, I would just say impactful because it's created that energy, that room, that space for something that I do feel as though the world wants to create space for, but struggles with a little bit. And I mentioned that I'm a gardener and that I face this every single day. And I want you guys to hold this visual in your mind's eye as we kind of chat through this episode. where you are having a plant, and there's so many funny like reels and memes and everything on that around like this, like, oh, you have one plant and then all of a sudden there's this leaf that just goes and starts dying and it starts turning different colors. And it's like, as a plant mom, you're like, oh no. And you can have that moment of like, oh no, we tried so hard. And the like kind of negative energy about like, oh, like the like sadness that comes with, which is a very important part of the grieving process. And yes, moving through, letting things go. And I've had my own journey in this, and I think it's very synonymous to life in many ways, because that poor little leaf is just not serving the main body of the plant and the growth and all this stuff. And because it's not serving, we have that moment where we can be really stuck in the sadness and in the pain and then in the grieving of the loss in that in advanced. Or we can reframe it just like we do with people in life and everything else, where I'm actually so grateful that that sacrifice was made, or that that is happening. And here I am now every single morning snipping off the leaves that aren't serving the mama plant. And I used to before be so caught up in this like sadness around like, oh my God, this plant is dying. Instead now I'm literally like on a hunt with like my scissors every single morning, like who has decided to move forward and
who's getting
like,
the chop?
Who's getting the chop? And like, honestly, it's been a very healthy thing to work through on my own accord. And that's what I want to bring into this episode, because it's so easy to get caught up in like the sadness and the grief and in the loss, because in so many ways I've been that mother plant just growing and growing and growing. And there's been so many people that I've had to be okay with letting go. And it's a lot easier to focus in on the letting go part as being a negative. And I think that there's a lot of experience that exists in the world of the reframe around this, around actually what's going to come of that baby plant leaf that actually doesn't serve the mother plant. And when you do snip it and you have that moment where it's like, yeah, you're going to go transform into another thing. When you have the moment to see, oh my gosh, the next day, what came forward as a result of that? What was the benefit to this mother plant now that has a beautiful little like plant that's unfurling and saying, hi, I'm a new leaf. I'm here to grow and get all the light. And right. So that's where this gardening analogy, I believe, is so synonymous to life, because we have the reframe opportunity to look forward to in terms of what is the benefit of this and what can you learn from it and what can you grow. And for me, in my growth journey, B, and I know you're giggins over there, but it's so true. You and I were just joking before we got on this episode around how to pronounce Habibi. Right? So this is like, I would have never imagined in my entire world how much awareness I now have as a result of being your friend and your mission partner and just another like woman exchanging dreams and working on building the future for other people. I would have never imagined that I would have the exposure that I do behind the scenes around Middle Eastern culture and understanding that and just the awareness of that from a female frame. And that's been so enlightening to me. And honestly, like if I didn't reallocate my personal energy, then I would have never had those amazing experiences of understanding what it's like as a Middle Eastern woman and learning how to say Habibi. And so that's just like one thing that I want to pull forward in this episode, because I've gained so much in that, you know, in our relationship and our experience and growth. And yes, it's been tough to have some people that didn't grow with me or didn't, right, jump onto the growth train or have taken distance or whatever. That's absolutely hard. And I don't want to just brush past that.
No.
However, like what I have gained as a result of knowing that they're doing them, like that's been a really important part of the process. And I've just gained so much of that, you know?
I'm in the same boat. Like, for anyone who's been a long-term listener of this show, like you'll definitely have seen the fact that me and my life and my freaking background, for anyone who's watching this on YouTube, have changed so much over the last couple of years. And you'll have heard stories about me talking about my family and ex-partners and former friends and all of this stuff. And to the point that we initially made, it has been heavy. It has been dark. I mean, even my background, right? Like I made the conscious decision last week with Amelia's help and guidance of a little bit to change what my background looks like. Now, granted, it looks a little bit ratchet right now because I still need to finish it. So anyone on YouTube, anyone who's not watching YouTube, it's only half done, but it's going to be fixed next time. But I made the decision to change it because I wanted to let go of the heaviness. I wanted to let go of the heavy, dark feeling that I got kind of sitting here in this rigid chair and just in this environment in the last few years of my life really has been doing that in every area of my life. And yes, it has been so hard and so challenging. Like putting distance between my family and I, letting go of my dog Gia, who I loved literally more than anything. Ending that relationship, saying goodbye to friends, and not even verbally saying goodbye to them, but just emotionally cutting that tie. There's been so many people that I've just distanced from or completely have cut off. And if I were to just focus on that, if I were to just look at all of the loss and, oh my God, it's so terrible, and look at everything that's happened to me, my energy would be completely different. And it was. And I want to make sure that I say that. It was. For a while, I had this really like heavy energy around me because of that. And over the last, I want to say few months, I've really been trying to shift my perspective on a lot of these things. Like I've been doing it, right? But I think more so the last few months, I've really been trying to shift my energy around what am I focusing on in my life? And what do all of these things really mean to me? And not only that, but like, what am I getting? It's a simple concept, but honestly, it's not. Because most of us are just so focused on the loss. We're so focused on, well, this person did this and this person did that and this is this and this is that. And we're so quick to focus on the negative that we really struggle looking at, well, what else could this mean? What could be really good about this? What could be really great about this? How is this actually serving me? How is this benefiting me? And my life, as a result of saying goodbye to certain people, of putting distance between me and some people, not completely cutting them off, but just putting distance, of really focusing on, not having certain people, places, things, and ideas in my life, it's given me so much more. It has genuinely given me everything I have ever wanted. And that is what I'm focused on. To where even now, I feel lighter. I feel this openness, this just really pure fulfillment and joy. That my life is literally everything I've ever wanted. I've attracted, manifested, and created everything I've ever wanted because I was willing to have the courage to let certain people go and to let certain things go and not focus on, oh my God, it's so bad, I let them go, but really shifting the perspective and the energy on, look at everything I've gained. Look at everything that I have. I attracted the partner of my dreams. I have this extraordinary apartment that I never thought I would be interested in interior design and whatever, but I'm creating it, right? Even the background and what it's going to look like later. I really enjoy it. A business partner and a friend and just this mission partner who I love so much. And just all of these other things. Focusing on that. Focusing on everything I'm going to get to do because I'm making these choices. So for everyone here, for everyone watching this or listening to this, what is better in your life because of some of the hard choices that you've made? Who have you attracted because of the choices you've made? The really great people. What have you gained? What's different? What could be different and better? If you focus your attention on that, that's how you start to be okay with letting people go. It's by understanding everything you are going to gain and everything your life can become as a result of that.
So true. And then to put like a cherry on the top, like what are you giving to the world? And that's been for me be like such a focus, because I used to be very focused on like well, for me it was more of the flip of like, what can I give? What can I give? And I actually have shifted into a little bit more of like, what can I get and give? So there's a duality that's been going on, and that's been actually really helpful for me to understand what it is that I need. What are the reciprocities that need to happen in these relationships and all that jazz. Whereas before I was just relentlessly like giving to everyone that never gave back at all in any regard. So my journey with this was very different from yours. And it's really cool because they've converged in such a beautiful way where we've been able to help each other in so many regards. And for all of our listeners, like wherever you are in this journey, what is it that you're giving and what is it that you're getting? And I think that those contemplations have really changed our worlds and will continue to, which is awesome. And we've gained so much literally in that. Like just even thinking about like, it's funny because in group coaching, we were asking, you know, the different people in that to kind of introduce themselves. And one of the members talked about like how they have read 178 books.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Like in this year, I think so far, which is
just
like
this year, which is only May.
Believable. And I'm so excited for that program and for those people. And it made me really contemplate like in such a beautiful manner of like how much attention and focus has gone to that personal life and how beautiful what that's cultivating and creating for this individual. It's just so amazing. And how easy it is to shift our focus and have it be trapped up into the more negative cycles of the letting things go. Because when you think about that, that's a lot of focus on like self development, pleasure, whatever it is for that individual, right? What did that take away from? No. What did that give to the world, right? And that's the reframe that we all have the power to choose. And that's what's awesome in starting this episode choosing how we look at it, choosing the meaning, and choosing how that can add more and cultivate more so that we can give, so that we can get, so that we can gain, and have that be a reciprocal thing. And I think that with the focus and the focal point on that is so much more empowering than the focal point on what we have lost, what we need to grieve, what, you know, and I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that those two aren't important. They actually go hand in hand. However, like it's the being okay with letting this go is understanding not only what can be gained, but what can be given.
Well said.
All the things.
Episode suggestion?
My episode suggestion is What Does It Mean to Love Yourself? Episode 118. You?
118, not 1118. Just for everyone listening. We're not there yet.
118, not 1118.
Number 182, this is why you should be selfish.
Okay. I see you. Man. All right. Well, with that said, we hope that you choose to focus on the letting go for what you're going to gain and what can cultivate more, and what it is that can do for what you can give, and that focal point. Just think about like, where can you get out your scissors and clip the leaves and see how that can bring an unfurling of a new leaf, and how that can be your new focal point.
Shifting the attention onto all of the beauty and all of the good that can come from this decision.
Heck yeah. We're right there with you. If anyone ever needs any help in this, I know one of the things that's been so helpful for me, and one of the things that's been so helpful for you, Bianca, I know, is to have someone that you can like talk to about this and that can help model that for you. Like we said, there's not a lot of people that technically model this. And so Bianca and I always make sure that on our calendars, we have time allocated for our listeners. It's free, it's private. We can chat through some of this stuff. If you're struggling to let go of someone or something, this is something that, again, we are at a different chapter of our evolutionary journey. However, we might have been where you are. And so we're more than happy, more than willing to share what we've learned at that stage to maybe help serve you in this journey. So that link will be in the calendar, or I'm sorry, in the show notes for you to click. We would love to meet our listeners, and I hope that everyone can journey into that a little bit more.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.